Welcome into Panther Pregame. I'm Jake VC. This is Jordan Banks, and we are delighted to have you join us as both the men's and women's basketball teams get set to open their seasons today.
That's right, Jake. Coming off a historic season for both men's and women's basketball here, both teams are looking to make statements this year as they strive for the dance once again and look to do some damage this time.
Yeah, Jordan, and we have a team of reporters covering all of the action tonight. Jimmy Roselli and Griffin Wright are in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Nick Allen and Camden Hurst are down at the Cobain Arena. We'll check in with both teams shortly.
But first, let's take a deep dive into the game we have tonight as our women's team take on the Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls and our men's team take on the Furman University Paladins. Now, head coach Chelsea Benbury coming off a historic season which led her to sign an extension with the Panthers this past offseason. Now, Jake, what do you think this deal did for this team?
Yeah, and Jordan, I think that this brings in consistency to the program, right? Chelsea Benbury's been here for the last 7 seasons, and now signing this 5-year extension with the team, it just shows that she's dedicated to this program, right? She's able to bring those recruits that she had coming in and keep them coming in, but she's also been able to keep that team together, keep them all, back as one, and she didn't lose a lot of students to the transfer portal, so that's really big in today's day and age in college basketball, right? A lot of students are entering those basketball portals, and we didn't see that with our women's team this year.
Absolutely, Jake. You mentioned the portal, how powerful that portal is, and I'm so glad that the team stayed together. So we have some pretty high expectations for this team this year.
Yeah, Jordan, and we are not the only ones with high expectations for the teams this year. I know that you had the chance to sit down with athletic director of High Point Athletics and get his thoughts.
Yeah, that's right, Jake. Dan Hauser has some high hopes this season for both teams and even explained why he chose Coach Flynn as new head coach for the men's basketball team. Take a look.
Where do you see this High Point University men's basketball team going this season?
Well, I think we've got a solid team this year, lots of depth. I think more depth this year than we even had last year, which is hard to believe because last year's team, if we went to the Big South Conference tournament, our bench kind of pulled us through a 15-point deficit and kind of won us the game. I think we're deeper this year. And it really just gets down to playing team basketball. In today's game, you have 10 to 12 new players each year. I think Flynn Clayman's done an amazing job finding outstanding talent and pulled all that talent together. But we have to play together, we have to sacrifice, we have to share the basketball, and that'll be the true test of how far this team goes. But I can see this team getting to the NCAA tournament and winning games in the tournament. That's what we've built, that's what we expect to be, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
Let's talk about your hiring process, right? Because I'm pretty sure after Coach Huss left, every coach in America wanted this job, right? To be around this atmosphere, to be around this type of campus and community. What made you stay at home in that same coaching staff and move up Coach Flynn and say, you're the next guy up, let's go ahead and get you in?
I wanted to know how would he get us to winning games in the NCAA tournament, not just getting there. And through that dialogue and that conversation, he did an amazing job presenting himself, his leadership capabilities, and what he would bring to High Point. After I met with him, I texted President Cobain because I knew he had a meeting with President Cobain later that afternoon. And I told the president, I think you're going to be impressed. I was impressed. It was a great conversation. I don't want to sway your final outcome, but I think you'll be excited to visit with Flynn Clayman. So he met with Flynn for another long period of time, and Flynn had a chance to sell his vision to President Cobain. And I think out of that meeting, President Cobain was in my office here within 15 or 20 minutes, and we were both saying, I think we have our guy internally. We don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah, Jordan, he mentioned high expectations in there. There's a bunch of impact transfers on this team, but who's that one player that you're expecting to really step up this season?
Jake, there's a man named Cameron Fletcher. You might not know him, but you will know him in the future. This guy has led a lot of teams to a lot of good programs. Now, he is a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, committed to Kentucky originally, then went to FSU, and just came from Xavier. He dropped 17 in his debut in High Point. He is a forward that can shoot the ball and knows how to facilitate the floor. I mean, he is somebody to look at in the future, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But for more on the med side, let's get to Rock Hill, South Carolina, where Jimmy Roselli and Griffin Wright are standing by with more. Guys?
Live from Rock Hill, South Carolina, as we are inside the arena getting set for opening tip-off between Furman and High Point. Griff, Furman has come off an incredible season, runner-up in the SoCon Championship, and High Point, of course, coming off one of the best seasons we've ever seen from this school, making it all the way to the NCAA tournament. Unfortunate they didn't get to make a run, but this season they have a little bit more expectations and a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. Last year in the SoCon, it was all Wofford. Phil Martelli Jr. left Wofford, went to VCU, and took all his players with him. Furman thought that this year, this is their year. SoCon had other ideas. Chattanooga is #1 in the SoCon this year, and so Furman's got a chip on the shoulder, but so does High Point. A lot of people don't have High Point going back to back. And I'm not gonna lie, Jimmy. I believe it, they believe it, and I know you believe it too.
Of course, and a lot of transfers coming in from both sides, Griff. You gotta mention High Point with an almost completely new squad, but there is one returner we have to mention. Chase Johnston returns to High Point. This is a player who put High Point on his back. He's got tremendous leadership and an incredible sharpshooter.
Yeah, and he loves High Point. I think his experience as a graduate senior went from FGCU to High Point. He loved this school. He loves his players. I'm excited what he's going to do here today.
And there's a unique story behind Chase Johnston this season as he's changed his number to number 99. Number 99 is something we don't see.
No, you do not.
In basketball. That's a football number, and he's wearing it now, and there's an incredible story behind it that tells you exactly why he chose to be that number. Let's send it to Brian Hanway, who got the chance to sit down with him earlier this week on this incredible story.
He drove the offseason by changing his number. More than just a number to him. I asked him, what is the meaning behind the number?
I chose 99 because it's an opportunity for people to ask questions about it and for me to share the gospel about Jesus, because that's exactly what he did for us. He left the 99 to find the one, and that one is all the lost sinners of this world that he died for.
Off the court, Chase and a couple of his teammates organized Bible studies that expanded beyond just the team. I asked him how that time off the court helped his team's success on the court.
Yeah, so we started our Bible studies last year in June, and I still vividly remember our first Bible study was 3 people. By the end of the year last year, we had over like 12 to 13 people at the Bible study. It was just a surreal moment to see how if you're faithful in the little, that God is going to provide according to his timing, and it helped our team so much, just seeing our teammates, how intrigued they were to hear about Jesus last year and asking us questions, just seeing what the Lord did through our teammates and even our coaching staff. The platform the Lord gave us was something I'll never forget.
Prayer also played dividend to the 2024-2025 team's success. Chase credited his former teammate Trey Benham on how the team centered their pregame rituals around prayer.
Trey and I would always talk about how prayer is the most important aspect of walking with the Lord. It's a conversation with the Lord. It's just fully revealing everything to the Lord, as he already knows our hearts. And so we would just constantly pray with the guys. When we had opportunities, we'd pray before every game, after every game. Before we go out to the court, we would do a huddle, and either Trey or I would do a Bible verse, and then we'd kind of break it down in like 30 seconds. And just let the guys know and remind them that, hey, basketball is a great gift, and it's a great platform, but at the end of the day, it's going to vanish, and it's going to go away one day. And if we're able to sacrifice and love each other, we have to fix our eyes on Jesus, who's the eternal King for us.
To go off the number change, Chase shared 2 important passages that led him to change his number.
A couple passages that refer to the story I'm talking about in Jesus leaving the 99 to find the one is in Luke 15 and Matthew 18. It's just Jesus giving us a command as disciples that we don't count anybody out, that nobody is out of the door because of how much they've sinned, that he actually left he died on the cross for us. He left the 99 to purchase our sin, to purchase our freedom, and give us life. So the encouragement is anybody out there that feels like they're too far gone or they failed God. Now, we all have failed God, but God redeemed us through his son Jesus and the blood on the cross. And so if you put your faith in Christ, you will have a new life and eternity with Jesus Christ forever.
With the new season on the horizon, Chase hopes that the team can repeat the same success centered around prayer and playing for the Lord. From Panther Pregame, I'm Brian Hanway.
Thank you, Brian. What an incredible story it is, Griff. And let's see if 99 can fill some big shoes, because he's going to have to with a very young team. That'll do it for us down here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Opening tip-off just 30 minutes away. Back to you guys in the studio.
And Jordan, Griffin and Jimmy mentioned it, but Chase Johnston, really impactful player. He's really good at shooting the 3 ball, but we're going to talk about the 3 ball as a whole, right? Last week in the exhibition game, almost 45% from 3 in that first half. Then the second half down to 30%. How are they going to be able to keep it consistent with the 3 ball?
Jake, keep shooting, right? They're not going to fall all the time. You cannot expect them to fall all the time. But when you have a shooter like Chase Johnson, who has made history here as his three-point shot gets better and better over the season, I mean, you cannot tell him to stop shooting. Now, he had a bad game in his opening this year, but I do see in the future that how he is going to improve, and I see him improving definitely a lot.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Well,
all right, thank you guys to Rock Hill, Jimmy, and Griffin. Now, Camden Hurst and Nick Allen are live at the arena right now. What you got for us?
Thanks, guys. I'm Camden Hurst.
And I'm Nick Allen.
And we are live from the Nito and Mariana Cubane Arena, where the High Point University Panthers are getting ready to take on the Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls. The Panthers are led by head coach Chelsea Banbury, who is entering her 7th season as head coach here at HBU.
Yeah, Banbury has won 2 Big South Conference titles since taking over as head coach 7 years ago. This team is an incredible team, and the Panthers took on the preseason 9th-ranked team in the country, NC State, in an exhibition game 2 weeks ago. The Panthers had a hard-fought battle, ended up losing 77-69, but I got a chance to sit down with head coach Chelsea Banbury to discuss how the NC State game is helping them prepare for the season. Let's take a look.
We definitely had a good showing for our first time out. I like where we are at this point in the season. I think we're further along than where we have been in the past. We were able to bring back a pretty strong core group from last year's team, and then we added some pieces that really help us scoring and make us a tough team to defend with Macy and Lexi out there. So I'm really proud of how they came out. They did a pretty good job of executing the game plan, and I think if a couple plays we did things differently, I think the outcome could have been different or even closer. And we're seeing where we're at the end of the game. So I was happy with how they came out and how they executed, and I think it's a good starting point, and I'm excited to build on it.
How does playing a team as tough as NC State help you the rest of the season?
Yeah, in our non-conference, we really want to try to challenge ourselves to, prepare us for conference and then hopefully, beyond. And, we want to challenge ourselves, see where we're at. NC State has a great program. They have a great team. They did lose a lot from last year's team, but, it's still an ACC team, and they're picked towards the top of the ACC as well. So, they're ready, and, it's a good test early on to see where we're at.
And a strong core group is exactly what this team has, with talented returners Nevaeh Zavala and Aaliyah Collins, along with transfers Lexi Fleming and Macy Spencer. This is a group with a lot of chemistry on and off the court, and they're really going to be able to use that chemistry to their advantage this season. One thing to note about the Panthers is that they have always been a highly scoring offensive team, and this year is no different.
Yeah, you mentioned Lexi Fleming and Macy Spencer, 2 guards that Coach Banbury brought into this season. Start with Lexi Fleming, spent 5 years at Bowling Green State University, averaged 13.5 points per game there last season, made 54 three-pointers, second on the team. She tallied over 1,000 career points in her 5 years at Bowling Green State University. She is looking to bring that scoring attack, that perimeter threat to the High Point Panthers. And then Macy Spencer, the junior, spent her first 2 years at UNLV, appeared in 23 games, scored 20 points against Stonehill, including 4 three-pointers. She is looking to bring that perimeter threat and that scoring ability that Banbury and the Panthers are looking for. Banbury is hoping that these two have huge roles for the season. It is a scary backcourt. We mentioned Spencer, we mentioned Fleming. We haven't even mentioned Aaliyah Collins, who averaged 10 points per game last year, second on the team. All 3 are set to have huge roles for the Panthers this season.
And another key player to continue to watch is going to be Nevaeh Zavala. After being named Big South Preseason Player of the Year, Nevaeh played in every single game last year and started in all but one of those games, while also leading the team in points, free throws, rebounds, and blocks. Here's more on her path to becoming one of Big South's best.
High Point University's women's basketball team is set to make another run at a Big South title this season, and leading the charge is senior forward Nevaeh Zavala. After being named Big South Preseason Player of the Year, Zavala is stepping into the spotlight not only as a scorer, but as a leader.
For this coming up season, I'm super excited. I'm ready to get to play with my new teammates, have a great year, a great end to an amazing 4 years, and just go out with a bang.
As she enters her final season in the purple and white, Zavala is taking the time to appreciate every moment. but with her senior status becomes a new level of responsibility, one that she's fully embracing as a team leader.
I always try to show them like what they're capable of and what we are capable of, especially being here for 4 years, knowing the system the way that I do, being there to help my teammates in any way that they need, just to better us and ourselves, because at the end of the day, we're only as strong as our weakest link, and with me being one of those stronger links, I'm always going to be there to help uplift.
Zavala's leadership has shaped the culture of this team, and it's that presence, both on and off the court, that helped her earn the honor of Big South Preseason Player of the Year.
It's really such an honor. It honestly shocked me and myself, but looking back at the past 3 years, I feel like I have earned it and I've got the recognition that I deserved, especially based off of the last season. But that just puts a target on my back, not in a negative way, but it pushes me to work harder.
Zavala's honor is a huge testament to her growth that Coach Banbury says comes from years of perseverance.
Man, it's crazy to think about where she was her freshman year. You know, quite honestly, I think she was probably pretty close to quitting her freshman year. She didn't get a lot of minutes. We had a pretty good team. We had a lot of seniors on that team that year. She stuck with it. She worked through it, and she earned her time on the floor. And once she got it, she kept it.
Zavala has come a long way since those early challenges. Now she's channeling that growth into her goals for this season.
Goal for myself is to end with Player of the Year. I was voted for it for preseason. I want to follow through with that, and I know with the team that I have, I am capable of doing that. And a team goal is to, of course, make it back to March Madness, win the conference. Not only make it to March Madness, but win a March Madness game. Make it past that first round, past that first level.
As she chases one last Big South title, Zavala is determined to finish her career with energy, leadership, and heart. For Panther Pregame, this is Camden Hurst.
The road to the NCAA tournament starts here tonight at the Nito Mariana Cuban Arena for the 7 p.m. tip-off against Johnson C. Smith University. Once again, I'm Nick Allen.
And I'm Camden Hurst. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Nick and Camden, thank you so much. We cannot wait for these games starting at 6:30 and 7 p.m.
Yeah, and Jordan, make sure to tune in this Saturday as we have another pregame show for our men's basketball team. We'll also recap the women's game, which happened earlier in the day.
But for now, I'm Jordan Bankston. This is Jake VC. We'll hope to see you next week. We'll see you guys. Thank you.